So let me share my screen with you. So I'm gonna do a small presentation with you today. So and talk about study abroad in Japan, and then you can ask questions about any of the content. Okay. Okay. So can you see my screen? I hope you can see my screen. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Okay, great. All right. So I'm gonna talk to you about studying abroad in Japan. Okay, and why you should consider studying abroad in Japan. All right. So today I'm gonna tell you a few things. So I'm gonna do a little bit of self-introduction first for myself and for the organization that I work for. And then I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about the benefits of studying abroad in Japan, in terms of the salary you can earn, and in terms of how much it costs to get an education here. And then at the end, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how our organization can help you get into the university here. Okay. So starting with our self-introduction. So I'm from this nonprofit organization called Study Abroad Research Institute. And we're here to help students from outside of Japan to study abroad in Japan and then to work here after they graduate. Okay, I'm based in Tokyo, in Japan, and we're doing these sort of meeting with different organizations and different schools, and talking to people like you, students like you, and we're just giving you an idea of studying abroad in Japan, right? And we're not charging you any money for this. It's completely for free. Yeah. So what we do in this organization is that we talk to students like you, and we also talk to universities, and we also talk to the government to make sure that they support you, the student, to come to university in Japan. Okay. Yep. And why are we doing this? Okay, it's because of my personal background a little bit. So I was born in China, and I grew up in Japan since I was age 5. And I also grew up in the US and studied abroad in many different countries. Okay. So I have a lot of experience studying abroad in Japan, as well as in other countries. So I am very, very interested in the idea of studying abroad and helping others to also study abroad. I also worked in Tanzania, in East Africa, for 2 years, right before I came back to Japan for my current studies. So I applied to a Japanese university, just like if you are interested, you'll be doing. So I have some personal experience applying to Japanese university from Africa. So what's the benefit of studying abroad in Japan? Okay, let me talk to you about the benefits of studying abroad in Japan. So first, I'm going to talk to you a lot about how much money people can earn by studying abroad here. Okay, so in 2019, right before COVID started, the average salary in Japan was about 39,000 US dollars. Okay. For people living in Tokyo, where I live, it's slightly higher. It's about $50,000. And for people who work in very, very highly demanded jobs like IT consultants, they make even more money. Right? They make on average $58,000 a year. And these are people who have bachelors, right? So people who went to graduate school and have master's and PhD degrees, they tend to be paid even higher, about 20% higher and about 40% higher. Okay, so you can see how much money you can make by studying in Japan and then working here after you finish. So part of the reason why getting jobs are very, very high paying here is because there's many jobs and not many people. So for example, I have this graph here that shows how many jobs are available for each person who's looking for a job. So in 2019, in Japan, there were 2.5 jobs available for every person looking for a job. So you see that there's a shortage of workers here. That's why they want more foreign people to come here, study, and then work in the country. And this will only get worse because Japan's population is declining over time, right? So right now it's about 130 million people. And by end of the century, in 2100, it's projected to be only 85 million people left. Okay? So because there's fewer people, there's fewer workers. So they want more people to come, and they'll pay people more money so that they will come. Okay? So that's about how much money you can make by living in Japan. Now, how much does it cost to get an education here? Let me show you some of the costs of the education. So I went to different universities, as I mentioned in the beginning. So I'm going to do a comparison with other countries that I studied. So I went to a school called Yale in the US, where school costs about $44,000 a year. So it costs a lot of money, right? I also went to a school called London School of Economics, where it's about $38,000 to $51,000 a year. So it's also very expensive. I went to a school called University of Sydney, Australia, also pretty expensive, $26,000 to $41,000 a year. So these schools are all very expensive. But compare that to the University of Tokyo, where I study now in Japan, it's only about $5,000 a year. So it's much cheaper than the other countries where you can potentially study abroad. So the cheaper price of the school fees in Japan makes it much, much easier to study abroad here than in other countries. Okay. But you might say $5,000 a year is still a lot of money. So how do you pay for that? Well, there are a lot of scholarship opportunities that are available for Japanese universities. So I give you an example from the Japan Student Services Organization, which publishes this scholarship pamphlet every year for foreign students. Okay. And this pamphlet, it gives you some idea of what kind of scholarships are available. There are many different types. The first one is the National Government Scholarship, which gives you free tuition, so you don't have to pay for school fees. It gives you an airplane ticket from your home country, and it gives you about $1,400 in cash every month for you to spend on your living expenses while you're in Japan. Also, regional government scholarships, depending on where your school is located. For these ones, you also get free school fees, so you don't have to pay for school fees. And you get about $900 a month in cash so you can use for your living expenses. And there are many private foundation scholarships where they give about close to $2,000 a month in cash that you can use to pay for your school fees and living expenses. And these are only some examples of scholarships. These are not all of the scholarships that are available. There are many more scholarships outside of this pamphlet that if you go to a university in Japan, the school will be able to tell you. Aside from scholarships, many students, when they come here, they also work. Okay, they can work to make more money. So a Japanese student visa allows you to work part-time for about 28 hours a week. So this is completely legal for you to work outside of school. And these are some of the common jobs. Okay, if you teach English, you get paid about $39 an hour. You're working at a restaurant or a store, you get paid about $14 an hour. And if you work in construction or factory or warehouses, you get paid about $28 an hour. Okay. So if you work 28 hours a week and you work at these hourly wages, that's a lot more money that you can save aside from getting scholarships. Okay. So that's how you get an education, how do you pay for education. Now, how do we help you get into a university here, if you're interested? So we're helping you in many ways. One is we can help you learn the language. So many programs in Japanese universities are in the Japanese language, okay? Some of them are English, but many more programs are in Japanese. So for you to come here, enroll in a university, and work after you graduate, it's best that you learn some of the Japanese language. There are many online resources available for you to learn the language, and we can help you find those. Now, we can tell you about the different courses that are available at our partner universities. We work with many universities. You can see our website, which I will share with Emmanuel after this presentation is finished. And then we also, on the website, we also tell you how to apply for those schools. Okay, these programs, each of the programs have different application process. So on our website, we provide information on how each of those programs can be applied to. At the end, we give you some information about what is it like to live in Japan. Okay, what is it like in this country, not just in terms of studying, but in terms of daily life. Okay, what kind of support do you need to navigate daily life here? We can provide some information there as well. Now, as I mentioned, we work with many different universities. So we talk to their admission officers, and they give us the information that we put on our website. So that means we can give you tips and advice to get into different universities easier than if you are to look for them yourself. Okay, that's it. We have our website, we have our social media, which all of these I will share with Emmanuel at the end after we're finished with this presentation. So thank you for listening. And yeah, that was my presentation. I wonder if any of you have any questions. I'm here to answer any of your questions.
Yes, go ahead. Any more questions? Okay, I want to ask a question. My name is Foster Ben. I want to ask this question.
Please.
I'm very interested that perhaps to come to Japan.
Yeah.
You have been here?
Do you being sorry? What can you speak closer to the mic? I can't really hear you too well.
I'm interested to come and learn.
Yeah, yeah.
My family are children.
Yes, it's very much possible to bring your family together for you to come to Japan. Many people who study here from foreign countries, they bring their whole family. And there are many school dormitories and apartments that you can rent cheaply, where it's not just for yourself, but can accommodate your family as well. So it's very common for a whole family to come when one member of the family come here to do their studies.
Yeah, I am Francis Anastasi. Let me appreciate you very much for all that you have said.
Thank you.
There is a point that I really want to know, when you are studying with your organization or your institution, is there anything required financially from the start of maybe I will apply for it? Is there any financial attachment with it for me to study with your university in Japan? Or am I coming to Japan, if I apply and successful, will it cost me any money for my coming to Japan?
So I think you're asking about sort of the financial support of this process. The application is all done online. Okay, so of course that's free. It doesn't, as long as you have internet, you can start the application process, right? So that part, it doesn't cost you money. Of course, once you get accepted, right, and you decide to come, then there's school fees and other things. But once you're accepted, the university that you're accepted into will be able to tell you about things like scholarships or other financial aid that are available for foreign students. So then it will be a conversation between you and the university that you're accepted into to see what kind of financial options are available for you, right? So it's a conversation between you, the student, and the university. There are, as I said during the presentation, there are many scholarships that are available for foreign students, right? Some of them are only available in certain universities. So each university have a different set of scholarships that are available for foreign students. So once you are accepted, the school will be able to provide you with more details about what kind of options are available. Yeah. So, but the first step is to be accepted into an academic program. Yeah.
All right, this is Victor, the only one. Maybe my coming to Japan, I don't have lodging. Who will be responsible for my food? Lodging.
So that's I guess an extension of the previous question. So if you receive scholarship, you'll be able to get money to pay for all of that, right? You'll get money from the scholarship that'll help you with your living expenses, like your dormitory, your food, your transportation cost. All of that will be able to be covered from the scholarship that you receive, right? The school will often help you arrange a place to live. Universities have their own student dormitories, right? And they have their own student accommodation that they will be able to arrange for foreign students, right? So that's something that the school will be able to tell you more about once you are accepted as well. Yeah. So sorry, I did not hear that question. Sorry, I cannot hear that question. You have to say it louder.
What is the duration of the program?
Duration of the program. Okay. Yeah. So it depends on what kind of program you're studying. If you're studying undergraduate program, bachelor's degree is usually 4 years. Master's degree is usually 2 years. Okay. And if you're studying doctor or PhD degree, it's about 3 to 4 years, depending on the program. Yeah. So, but if for each school, so this is on average. Some schools are shorter, some schools are longer. Again, this information, it differs from school to school. So if you can see our website, we'll also provide that information. Yeah, so you can check each program separately.
Next question. Yes, my name is Victor S. Duludion. My question is because I learned from 2 countries, Benin and Nigeria. So I interpret French to English and also English to French. So I know if you people will be able to express this French to English, right? Yes. Yes. So if your language will be, or if I will
Sorry, there's way too much background noise. I cannot hear this. Yeah. Can I hear the question? Can I hear?
Okay. If you want to come back, I wanted to ask concerning the language. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, concerning the language, I overheard you saying that the first criteria is to learn how to be fluent in the Japanese language. So, look, observing the first step, what's the duration of time it takes an applicant to complete the question that is to learn the Japanese language?
Right. Okay. So on language, as I mentioned during the presentation, there are some all English programs where you don't need to know any Japanese language. These kind of things do exist, but there are very few English only programs, and many more programs are in Japanese. So I do recommend people who come here to learn Japanese language, at least to a certain extent. Yeah, you don't have to be fluent, but you have to know the language a little bit, even just for your daily life. Yeah, because outside of the university, most people don't speak English. So yeah, if you're just going about your daily life, you'll need some Japanese language. In terms of how long it takes to learn the language, of course, it's different from person to person. Yeah, some people will take 1 year, some people half year, some people 2 years. There are people who come here who decide to enroll in a language school before they start their academic program just to learn the language. If they enroll in this sort of language school, then they are basically going to Japanese class, language class all day for a long time, right? For like maybe half a year, 1 year, maybe 2 years, right? So that sort of study is very intensive, and you're just learning the language all the time. So that's a choice that many foreign students make before they decide to enroll in an academic program. There are some scholarships that help you pay for that, but if you are in language school for a long time, then many students tend to be in the language school and they work on the side in order to pay for the language school. So work part-time and go to school at the same time. So that's something that many people do. Yeah, of course, you can try to learn the language by yourself through online sources, right? You can find many free online courses for Japanese language, right? Which of course doesn't cost any money, right? So if you're really good at language, that's also an option. Yeah, so it really depends on the person, how quickly they can learn a language.
Yes, well, my name is Stephen E. Franklin, and I want to know about the courses you know the Quota offer.
Sorry, what? I didn't catch the question. Can somebody repeat that?
I'm talking about the courses you offer in the university.
Courses, yes, courses. Okay. So there are many different courses. It's not limited to a particular department or particular field, right? So different universities have different courses available, right? Some universities may only have one kind of course, but some universities are very comprehensive. So they have courses in every department that's available. So again, that information is online. I'll send you the link to our website later on through Emmanuel, and Emmanuel can share with all of you about those information, right? And you can take a look at what kind of courses are available and what kind of field it's available. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Xiaochen Su. How many students you want to recruit from Liberia?
There is no quota for a particular country, right? When Japanese universities, when they receive applicants, they don't look at people's nationality, right? So they're not going to say, okay, from Liberia, only this many people. There is no such thing, right? So you're all applying as individuals. You're not competing with other people from Liberia. You're just competing with other foreign students from everywhere, right? So there is no quota for just Liberians.
Yeah, my name is William Polly. If I'm interested, any of the university there, so what should be my materials for the qualification that will permit me to be enrolled?
Sorry, I heard tuition, but I didn't hear the rest of the question.
Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
if in a scholarship, what are the qualifications?
Qualifications, okay. Yeah. So what are the qualifications? So for example, if you're going to study a graduate program, right, a master's or PhD program, then you must be finished with your undergraduate first, right? So you need to have a bachelor's degree first if you're going to graduate school. If you're going to a bachelor's degree, then you must be graduated from high school, right? You have to have a high school degree. So that's all very basic, right? Beyond that, each school have their own requirements in terms of application. Some schools will need a certain grade level, right? Like GPA, it has to be around a certain level. But this also differs from school to school. So there is no general rule that's applicable for all universities. And some universities have other requirements. For example, you need to go through a test. Yeah, the school might have a test for applicants that they create and give themselves. Some schools require recommendation letters. Yeah, some of them require essays. So for different schools, there are different requirements. So if you're interested in certain programs, you have to look at that program, that particular program's requirements to see what specifically they need from you to complete the application process. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Eddie CCC. I just want to go to the first of the organization.
Sorry, the what? Sorry, I wasn't able to hear that. What is it? What is the question? What is it? Grace. Grace, is it? Grace?
You get the next phrase. You already said anything. All right, thank you very much for the information. What let's really do because let's discussion about the college graduate school and that was actually graduate school. So in case you are college school, how will you start?
So, sorry, I completely didn't hear that. There's too much background noise. Yeah, sorry. It's there's so much noise around. I cannot hear the question. Maybe can somebody repeat the question?
I'm saying if you are in a college student, yeah, and having a graduate, right there, yeah. So what will you do? Will you say before the people say have to graduate?
So okay. So I heard the question is what will you do after you graduate? Is that correct? Yes.
If you are not yet graduated and you want to do your program, will you?
Yeah. Okay. So if you're not yet graduated, but you want to pursue a program, that's not possible. You need to graduate first, right? So if you, for example, if you're already studying for a bachelor's degree, but you want to study for a bachelor's degree in Japan, then you have to start from the beginning again in Japan, from the first year, because you haven't finished your degree that you're doing right now, right? So and the Japanese university will not accept half a non-finished degree as a qualification. Okay. So in that case, if you're interested in, if you already started with your bachelor's degree, I suggest that you finish your bachelor's degree and consider graduate programs like master's degree after you finish your bachelor's degree.
All right. Again, if I'm elected to come to your country, who will facilitate my transportation?
So the transport, well, So, okay. So as I mentioned earlier in the scholarship, some of the scholarships pay for the airplane ticket. Okay. So those scholarships, you will get the money first to buy your transportation, buy your airplane ticket to come to Japan. Some of the scholarships do not give you a free airplane ticket, but they will be able to pay cash to you to help you buy one, to buy airplane ticket. Okay. So if you do get a scholarship, that is something that the scholarship would be able to pay for. Okay. But either way, you have to buy the airplane ticket yourself, right? Yeah, it's just it's the whole arranging the transportation is something that you have to do yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I have a dozen question I want to ask. I really think that when academic activities in Liberia looking at your short year, some universities use semester that is 2 semesters per year, and others do with semester that is 3 semesters per year. I don't know what the degree of your own yearly system was when it comes to the academic enrollment. One is 2 semesters per year or 3 semesters per year on that system.
Sorry, I think the question was about academic performance, was it? I hope I understood the question correctly, but no, I didn't understand the question.
I'm not saying academic performance. I say I want to know what is grading when it comes to the academic arrangement, because in Liberia here, we have universities are running 3 semesters per year. We call it semester.
Yeah, okay.
Per year. I don't know how it's like.
Yeah, so it's more the academic structure, like how many semesters per year, how etc. Right? So in Japan, there is generally 2 semesters per year, right? There is a spring semester, a fall semester. If you choose to study during summer and during winter, during the vacation times, there are also additional classes that you can take for credit, so that potentially you can graduate earlier if you choose to take classes during the vacation time. But usually there is just 2 semesters, just a spring and a fall semester, right? And there is a very regular schedule where the semester starting April and in October, right? And everybody sort of just follows the same timeline for going to classes and going on vacations.
Okay, my last question. I want to know whether you have online programs that I would say like during my degree from Japan.
Same degrees, like same kinds of degrees, like same. Okay.
Online program, whether you have online program that would say ready like during a degree from your country, Japan.
Sorry, I didn't understand that question. So it's not about degrees, but.
So he's not asking about degrees. He's asking whether there is a means that somebody can use it and do online studies right here and do online studies. Maybe the person applied for the program and successfully completed it in the first case. I will remain in Liberia and do online studies when that is workable in your program.
Wait, sorry, honors programs? Did I understand that right? Honors program?
Online.
Honors program? Yeah, there are honors programs, right? So people who graduate with higher sort of qualifications and higher grades, right? So yeah, that kind of programs do exist in Japan as well. And there are some people who go through to honors programs and they get a better degree and better qualifications. Yeah, but it's not very common. Mostly people just go through regular degrees like everybody else. Everybody gets the same course, goes through the same programs and get the same degrees. Yeah, I mean, of course, some people get higher grades, some people less so. but once you graduate, the diploma itself wouldn't look too different from each other. Yeah.
Are we saying, do you have a program that are able to take to Liberia and have and study in the country? Do you have online program?
So our organization, we don't have our own academic programs. We're providing you information from our partner universities. These universities, they don't have programs specifically for any country, right? They don't have a program just for Liberia. That kind of thing doesn't exist, right? The programs are open to all foreign students from all countries. They won't have a quota just for Liberians, right? If you're applying, you're competing not just against Liberians, but foreign students from every other country in the world who are applying, right? So there is no quota or a special program just for Liberians.
Any more questions? Anyone? We need to talk to
No? Well, if there's nothing else, then yeah. Well, thank you guys all for joining. I didn't expect so many people to come today. But as I mentioned several times, there are some information about our website, our social media that I will share with Emmanuel over email right after the end of this meeting. And then, if you're interested, you can take a look at our website where there are information about different programs from different universities that are available. You can take a look to see what are the details about how to apply and what kind of programs are available, right? Yeah, and then if you're interested, you can take a look at the application process to see if that's something that you want to try, okay? Of course, as you know, because right now is the COVID pandemic, right? It's very difficult to travel internationally. So for many Japanese universities, they are also seeing if it's possible for foreign students to come at the moment. So many things are changing right now because of this COVID pandemic. So once the COVID pandemic becomes a little bit better, right? The situation becomes a little bit better. I think the schools will also come with different policies about accepting foreign students and how many foreign students they accept. So when those policies change, we will make sure to update you through our social media sites, right? So please look at our Facebook, our YouTube as well, to see if there is any new information when they are available later, okay? Great. Well, if there's nothing else, then well, thank you very much, everyone, for your time. And sorry about the sound. It seems like, it has been very difficult to communicate. Yeah, and I hear so much noise from the other side that it's very difficult for me to hear you. But yeah, if there is any additional questions, please let me know. I have given my email address to Emmanuel. You are all welcome to contact me through email. That way I can understand your questions much clearer than if you're saying it right now. Yeah. Okay, great. That's all from me. Thank you everyone for your time today. And we'll be in touch again. Yeah, by email. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Thank you, bye.